Hello, hello, welcome. We'll be starting in just about 2 minutes. Waiting for some more people to join us here, and I'll be sharing my screen shortly. So, welcome. Okay, guys, we are going to get started. Thank you very much for being here. The session is being recorded. We had a few people that mentioned they couldn't be here this evening, but I am very excited to be here with all of you. You don't need to turn on your cameras. I know it's later in the evening, so we will go ahead and get started. I'm going to go and share my screen, and then that way, hopefully, you can follow along in the that we've got here for you. If you are just joining us, please do go ahead and mute yourselves. I appreciate that. So, we are here tonight to do some quick thinking and strategizing about expansion. I think all of us want to always be growing our business, but at Exit Strategy, I always coach our agents on working smarter, not necessarily always harder. Sometimes you do need to work harder, but have you expanded deeper, deep enough in your own database before you go wider? When I coach our agents at Exit, I notice that there's a lot of people that instantly go wider. And then when we go and study their database and I coach them, they actually are not going deep enough with their existing database. So let's jump right in. First of all, before you go wider, have you gone deep? Let's dive into this concept. Deep meetings it means getting more intimate with your existing database. Now, if you have a very small database, we need to grow your database around you. And what I mean by around you, I mean geographically around you. We all have a tendency to jump towards the $1 million listings, the neighborhood or subdivision near us that has all the big homes. But you want to notice first and foremost that there's a strategy out there called triangulation. I have on my LinkedIn, if we're not connected on LinkedIn, add me on there. And one of the articles I've written, not a regular post, but one of the articles I've written on there is about triangulation. And triangulation says you're already in your own neighborhood. You're walking down the street. Maybe you've got your realtor badge on. At our office, we've got masks that have personalized logos on them. In your own neighborhood, you're probably farming. We'll talk about that in a second. But you need to start by building your database around you, not just because it's easier there. People know you. You know the block. Where the buses and trains are, the best restaurants and coffee shops, the best playgrounds and schools. But you also naturally are already there. One thing that I made a mistake of when I first expanded, and for those of you guys on the webinar tonight that don't know me, I'm actually licensed in 3 states. I'm originally from Indiana. I got my start there in 1998, came over to Illinois in 2001, and I also received my Michigan license in 2000. Now, once I came over to Illinois and started doing pretty darn good over here and felt confident consistently and realized that it was a lot of fun to sell real estate in Illinois, I actually put my licenses in Indiana and Michigan into holding. Well, eventually I got hungry again. I said, you know what? I'm doing well, but I'd like to do even better. And I'm starting to get clients wanting to move back to Indiana or to Indiana from Illinois for tax reasons, or maybe it's schools and family. Whatever the situation was, I started getting some clients back over the border. And when I did, I made some mistakes, and I'll talk to you about those in a bit. One of the mistakes that I did, though, I'll tell you right off the bat, is that I did not expand my database here locally well enough first. So I started driving over to Indiana. I've serviced clients recently in Hammond, Crown Point, places like that. But historically, I've been in Valparaiso, Munster, Gary, everywhere back over there, more close to where I'm from. And while it was nice to be back in Indiana, the drive of an hour to an hour and a half each way to service potential clients when I hadn't even really dipped deep into my own database here in Chicagoland, where I would drive 10 or 15 minutes to service them, knew all the neighborhoods, and also, more importantly, already had an MLS membership, etc. It just, for me, the time sometimes was not worth it to get an extra deal once in a while and really be scraping to do it when I had such a database here that I needed to dive deeper in. So grow that natural database. One thing I'm noticing with agents all across the country is that they don't have full contact information for past clients, current clients, future clients. Everybody in your phone should be first name, last name, email address, obviously their cell phone number, their home address, their social media handles, things like that. All of that information should be in your phone. Your phone should be a sponge. Hopefully, you have a CRM like we do at our office that syncs up between your phone, Google Contacts, and the CRM. So all of that comes together very nicely. If you don't, get a new CRM, I'd say. But if you don't even have the full contact information for each person in your phone, I was studying with an agent I'm coaching the other day, and we were on a Zoom. I said, let me share my screen. Can I see your screen? And we flipped to their database, and then we also flipped onto their phone through the Zoom. You can do that. And we discovered they had people in their phone like John the painter. Well, that's not John's last name. And we had no email address for John, no home address for John. And even if it's the painter you use, that should be a member of your referral army. And so we're realizing people aren't going deep enough, just as close as their phone. Furthermore, are you connecting with these people on LinkedIn? Everyone in your phone should be in your CRM. Everyone in your CRM should be on LinkedIn. Our CRM has a feature where you can add their LinkedIn profile. Why I like LinkedIn so much. Number one, that means you have to have a LinkedIn profile yourself. Number two, and I've got some training on that. Number two, that means you have to be posting actively on LinkedIn to get people to engage you there. But it's so important to have one because most people are on LinkedIn, even if they don't like other social media. Most people on LinkedIn will notify you every day. And even if you have, especially if you have the LinkedIn mobile app, it'll notify you when people have birthdays. It'll more importantly notify you when they have a job change. Why is that important to you as a realtor? Well, that means they're either moving up, maybe they need to downsize, maybe they need to relocate, but you're not going to know that on Facebook. You're not going to know that for sure on Instagram. Instagram doesn't even have birthdays. And let's talk then, if we're talking about LinkedIn and birthdays and things like that, are you reaching out regularly to each person in your database? Your monthly newsletter doesn't count. Our office, we do a monthly newsletter. It has the option to do videos and things like that. It's nice, but sometimes those get lost in the shuffle. I consider the monthly e-newsletter an absolute baseline. That's just a baseline. Are you doing things like personal birthday cards, housing anniversary gifts? And I mean personal birthday cards handwritten, sent from you, not from some computer. That requires a home address. Sometimes you've got to reach out and ask them, hey, happy birthday. So it's your birthday today. Can I get your home address? Because sometimes people in our database, we don't have it. A birthday, check in every morning, create a habit. Some of you guys that know me better know that I do the miracle morning every morning. Part of that routine is acknowledging people. Annette Anthony from our corporate office calls it 7 by 7, 7 people to acknowledge by 7 a.m. Well, guess what? Great way to do that. Go on your LinkedIn, acknowledge job changes, transfers, birthdays, and get all those people in your phone. Make sure that you've got full contact information for them. Birthdays are a great way to do that. A couple people a day. Took me a year to do that. Core coaching, the core training program is the core pro. That's the program that I'm coached by. I'm a graduate of their level 3 program, which is their top level program. Absolutely, I loved it so much that I actually went back in there on their maintenance program so I could make sure to train our agents. They said you're not going to get all this stuff done in a day or week. And guys, the COVID plans we had, well, we're opening back up. So I know a lot of us had things left on our to-do list, whether it was a book to read. I've got the book that we're reading right now in our office. This is such a good book, Think Like a Monk. I said I was going to finish it a second time because it was COVID. Well, I've been outside gardening. We've been back out at the restaurants and it didn't get done. So if you think you're going to get your database done in a day or a week and you've just got to block that time, be smart about it. Block 15 to 20 minutes a day, put it in your calendar on your phone, and get those birthdays acknowledged and check and see what what pieces of information you are missing on each person. You'll thank me later. It may take you up to a year to do that, but it's personal touches every day. Do you have a referral reward system? Again, we're going deeper. A lot of people, they say they have something in place. It doesn't really exist. When I get a referral, I always send maybe a Starbucks gift card. I use the Starbucks mobile app for that. If you're at our office, that's on my coaching blog. It's got to be $20 or less in Illinois. If you're not in Illinois, check your state's regulations. I give those for leads, not closings. Why acknowledge the actual dollar when you can acknowledge the act? You want to reward the act. So we use that. If you are not direct mailing just sold cards, what a mistake. The vendor I use has been fantastic. They have a lead capture right on right on those postcards they send. It's actually now fully automated. It's a wonderful thing to do. If you're not sending out just sold cards, you've already sold in that area. You know that area now. Okay. So why not prospect to that area? We're all starved for listings at the moment. Inventory is low. If you're not prospecting for listings right now, one of the best ways to do that is to do the just sold cards, get a good vendor, and do that around each property you sell. At our office, the one thing we do monthly is we do monthly events. You may see tomorrow some promotion of our nutrition class. We do it on a variety of events. If your office isn't doing it, do it yourself as an agent. It's a really great way to just move beyond the only touches some of us send, which are buy with me, sell with me, buy with me, sell with me. Do you want to buy or sell? That gets really old over time. Don't do that. I like to have events. I like to, now that we're getting out of COVID, we're going to have some live events again at our office, which I'm so excited about. But even during COVID, we did Zooms every month. We were educating, we were entertaining, we were involved in charities in the community. You've got to have those. Please start doing those regularly. There's another concept in core called the 12-month marketing calendar. That's also on my LinkedIn. It's also on my YouTube channel. A lot of this conversation is also on my YouTube channel. If you subscribe there, we dive deep into the 12-month marketing calendar. Are you canvassing around your open houses? I see some pretty lazy open houses. I've held a few lazy ones in my day too. But if you're canvassing around open houses, you're promoting the open house fully. There's some great digital ads out there now. If you're at Exit, you've got the Exit Realty Connect app with the Facebook ad center that also goes to Instagram. I love that because it's a touch of a button. But knock on some doors, put some flyers out there, do the digital door knocking like you can do on social media, not just to your social media database, but the advertised, the paid amount. Spend $50, see what you get on it. Start interacting with the neighborhoods where you're having open houses. Don't just wait till the just sold card to engage the neighborhood. Start by doing the open houses. Work those open houses. And last but not least, before you go wider, are you farming your own neighborhoods regularly? We talked about doing just solds. We talked about, kind of walking around your neighborhood. But what about farming your own neighborhood beyond just sold? The vendor that we use has a really nice pre-done, every 2 months it comes out. Here's an update on the market, and here's all your neighbors that have sold. Really great stuff. It's all automated, pulled off the MLS for us at our office. Very, very smart to do. If you don't have the money to do direct mail yet, connect with all your neighbors on social media. The HomeSnap Pro app gives you basic information. If you've got HomeSnap Pro Plus, it may give you on.
Hey, you got your box cutter.
Somebody's not muted, so I'm going to mute them. So farming your own neighborhoods, do it digitally, do it by mail, throw some events in your neighborhood, get that name badge out there, go back to the grocery store. A lot of us went on Instacart and things like that during COVID. Get back out there. Because I do the triangulation strategy in my neighborhood, I get people seeing my under contract signs, my for sale signs, the open house signs. They see the digital ads on social media. So when I'm in my own neighborhood in person, people are like, wait, are you the realtor? Like, it's got to be the bad spray tan. I don't know. People just know me sometimes. It's actually because the triangulation strategy is working. So consider doing that. Do some giveaways at your open houses. Make the open houses more fun. But bottom line is farm and engage in your own neighborhood. So let's talk now about going wider. So that's why I think some of you are on this tonight. Wider means an expansion into a new area geographically. Some of us have the designation, the RSPS. I have the resort and second home, the property specialist, the vacation home specialist designation, RSPS. Some of you may have the CIPS designation, like I do. So I've got a couple of them that help you think more globally or more regionally, beyond just your own neighborhood. Here's the things to think about with that. Wider means an expansion to a new area, but time is money. You'll be in the car more for areas farther from you. That's also going to be a cost of, let's see who else needs to be muted here. All right. I think we got almost everybody now. Okay. Um, Time is money. We talked about being in the car. If you are going to go across state lines and you don't live right on the border, that is going to be a big cost. We'll jump into that into a second. But just in general, driving to a new area or any area beyond around you directly, that is a cost. Time is money. I'm noticing when I'm in the car more, I respond to emails slower. Can't be driving and texting, guys. You can't be driving and emailing. And you really can't get good responses. You can't do Zooms. You can't do in-person meetings with other people. You can't write a contract while you're in the car unless you've got someone else driving. I don't have a driver. Never been able to achieve that. Most of us don't. So, maybe you'll take an Uber. I don't know, but you really need to be in your car, focused on driving, which means your eyes are off certain other things in your life. It may cost you additional advertising dollars. If it's not an area you know and people don't know you, you're probably going to be spending money there in order to get any local traction. Now, maybe some of your people in your area are moving to this new area. That's something you're going to need to weigh out for yourself. But let's talk about going across state lines. This is the one I get lots of questions on, which is why we're doing this as our Money Monday focus tonight, and why we open this up to realtors from other companies, because a lot of companies aren't talking about expansion. I want to make it clear, if you're going across state lines, this means you have to get the license in that state. You have to pay MLS dues in that state. So you've got the state and local board, the MLS dues for that board, and you have to keep up with your CE. Just because there's reciprocity with the state doesn't mean you then go fly under the radar. It absolutely doesn't. It means that then you've got to get the license over there, even if you don't have to take all of the tests. You'll take part of them in a lot of the states we have reciprocity. So the license carries, but you still have to take the state exam. Then you're going to go join a local realtor association and get MLS access, plus whatever costs that office has, whatever office you decide to affiliate with. We'll talk a little bit more about exit in a second, if you're considering doing exit in one state or in multiple states. So consider all of those costs. If you hate CE, if you hate paying your MLS dues here, you may hate paying your CE and doing your CE and paying the MLS there. If you can't be in the area easily and regularly, so I'll give you an example. I mentioned that I'm licensed and active in not only Illinois, but Indiana and Michigan. So I have an Indiana license and an Indiana MLS. I'm part of the GNIAR, so that's the Greater Northwest Indiana Association, as well as the Southwest Michigan Regional. That's their MLS. So I pay for both of those MLSs every quarter. I pay for the CE classes and take those every year. So that's a lot of extra time. But most importantly, I can't get to New Buffalo, Michigan in under an hour and a half most days. So if I'm going over there to show houses, that is a commitment of 3 hours just to get there and back. So can you do that? And if you can't do that regularly, that means you're going to have boots on the ground. And I would strongly advise you get boots on the ground, even if you think you can make that journey easily. because it just inevitably happens that, yes, I can get over there in 3 hours and back, but then I've got the time for showings there. What if I've got open houses or showings or family commitments or my other job that day? You may want to get boots on the ground locally, someone else in your office there that is going to be licensed there in that MLS there and familiar with the forms. So you've got MLS things you need to get familiar with. So you got to learn how to work their MLS. Very rare that they're going to have Connect MLS, which is the MLS in our local association, MRAD. You're going to have to get familiar with all the contracts, forms, lock boxes, practices. For example, I go over to Indiana, they do have Sentry Lock. I go to Michigan, they have Sentry Key, which is a whole different system, whole different app, whole different codes, whole extra costs. So be careful with that. Would it be worth it to you if you only sold 1 to 2 homes a year there? Would it be worth it to you if you only sold 1 to 2 homes a year there? So let's think about that math. You're talking thousands of dollars between the board dues, the cost of the license, any advertising, travel time. Is your database consistently asking for this area, or should you just refer it out for a percentage? Remember, you can refer out in all 50 states. You can refer out internationally. Why not just refer it out? So I'm not talking against it. I've got licenses in 3 states. I may have a license in a 4th state soon. So not talking against it, but I'm telling you to work smarter in your own database first, because I had to go back and do that before I went and reactivated and really started working the expansion markets. The other thing that I did is I have a local realtor with the same office in each area. So in Northwest Indiana, I've got a wonderful person that helps me write up contracts, sets up showings for me, sometimes does some showings or the inspection for me, little things like that. And they get either a percentage of the deal, because of course they're also a licensed agent, or if they're unlicensed, remember they can't show houses, they can't do open houses, they got a lot they can't do. If they're unlicensed, you could pay them by the hour, checking to make sure they're 1099 or that they've got their own company. See, there's a lot of extra stuff to that. It's always smarter to have a licensed team member over there, even if it's an informal agreement. Please make sure you get that agreement in writing, but they can be split the deal with you, whatever that percentage you do with them. But if you're already splitting the deal with someone over there and you've got the costs of your doing business, or COS, cost of sales over there, is it easier to just refer it out? If it's not, especially for you agents on the border, whether you're in Indiana and you're thinking about coming over to Illinois, and maybe you're in Hammond or Munster, which is right on the line, or if you're in Illinois and you're in maybe, so you've got some of the southwest suburbs, maybe you're at the end of Chicago, Blue Island, you've got some other places that are really, really close between Indiana and Illinois. Maybe you are on the Wisconsin border. I've got some friends in Beloit that are thinking about getting their Illinois license. Consider the cost, but it may be worth it for you. If you're in downtown Chicago, I really would be interested to see, maybe you've got a house yourself or a family member that lives in Northwest Indiana or Wisconsin, or you've got a second home somewhere else you're considering to get that expanded license, then it may make sense. So let's talk about, where are these expansion areas? States Illinois has reciprocity with. Now, these are little tiny, this is being recorded. You can also just take a picture of it or a screenshot of it if you're on your laptop or desktop right now. These are the states we have reciprocity with: Colorado, Connecticut, Florida. For some of us that love Florida, I know a lot of you are talking about maybe getting a license down there. Florida has reciprocity. You still have to take the state portion of the exam. They've got fingerprint requirements, things like that. Georgia, Indiana, right around the corner, Iowa, Nebraska, Wisconsin. So you've got a lot of different places there that have the option to have reciprocity. But again, reciprocity doesn't mean you just fill out a form. Most likely you're going to have to take some sort of the exam, some part of the exam, the state exam, and then you're going to have to join a brokerage and affiliate with an MLS in order to have any traction. So that is the basics. And I want to show you one more thing. If you are not yet, if you are at Exit Strategy or in Illinois, or if you are licensed in another state and you're thinking about getting your Illinois license, I want to quickly show you a couple things that we provide. What my offer is to you is if you are with our office in Illinois, we will provide these tools for you that also work in your expansion market. So we have a CRM for you. We have a front end website for you. Those both work anywhere in terms of if your clients are anywhere in the world, all the CRM works with them. The front end website, we can add a second MLS to it. So if you're in Indiana and Illinois, we'll give you a website for both states. We have the full marketing suite. We have Dotloop. Dotloop is paid for premium for everyone. That is going to be for both states. That will work. We have all the documents from the local MLSs, all the contracts and forms for Indiana. We just got them for Wisconsin as well. So that would be a value add to you, even if you're with a different exit office in another state. If you're with Exit Strategy in Illinois, no matter where you're at, somewhere else, this is what we give you everywhere. The last thing I give you also is that we will give you access to our graphic designer for free if you've had at least 20 deals in either state or combined in both states. We will give your base split a raise from 70% to 80%. So all the coaching that we give you at Exit Strategy works in any state, as do all these tools. So consider that if you're thinking about expanding. We've got some great offices just over the border that can help you. And in Illinois, we would love to have your license if you're thinking about becoming an expansion agent. So I'm going to go ahead and see if there are any questions. Feel free to unmute yourself. Well, guys, you've been a wonderful audience tonight. I appreciate it. We have Money Mondays every Monday, not Memorial Day next week, but every Monday. We're going to have a really cool one coming up for agents and consumers on cryptocurrency. So stay tuned to my social media feeds for that. If we're not already friends on LinkedIn, YouTube, etc., connect with me. And if you would like, take down this number and we can connect also directly. My cell phone number and all the other supporting information and some great PowerPoints for you, some digital presentations. You can just text this code, LIB as in boy, ERT, so my last name, text Libert to the number 85377. So again, that's Libert to 85377. That's my digital business card. If you're at Exit, please start using those. Those are wonderful tools from corporate. Have a wonderful evening. Thanks so much, everyone.
Thanks, Nick.
Bye, guys.
Bye.